Hola, soy Vivi.
Y yo, Merce.
Y esto es
Mysoreando. Aquí hablaremos sobre la práctica de Ashtanga Yoga tradicional.
Desde nuestra propia experiencia.
¿Nos
acompañas? Hi, welcome one more time to Mysoreando, our podcast about Ashtanga Yoga for the Spanish-speaking community. If you listen to our previous episode in English where we interviewed Harmony Slater, we did that interview in March this year and we translated it into Spanish, but we left the English version for everyone to listen to. So, a couple of months ago, I had Chandana Bhowmick visiting me here in Tenerife, in Spain, where I live, and she came to practice at my Shala and also even taught a lead class on a Saturday, which was really beautiful. It brought me back to Mysore, and that's what our podcast is all about Mysore, the Mysore practice, the Mysore style, Ashtanga Yoga, traditional. So I had to take the chance to interview her, and this interview we also have translated into Spanish, but we decided to also leave it in the original version for all the English speaking people, not only the English community, also the English speaking people, to listen to it, because you might learn something, you might get enchanted by this beautiful way of Chandana to see how she sees and lives the practice and all that she's overcome to being where she is now. So we'll leave you to it. We hope you enjoy this interview, and it might not be the last one we do in English. So have a wonderful listen, and we leave you now Mysoreando with Chandana Bhowmick. Welcome, Chandana, to Mysoreando.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasure to have you.
My pleasure too.
I'm actually really excited and hyped today because I had Chandana staying, visiting me in my home, in my new home here in Tenerife Sur, and we've had a beautiful couple of days. And today, it's Saturday when we're recording this, so I have the lead class at Mashallah, and I asked Chandana if she would like to teach it because it would be a gift for me to be able to practice the lead class. I haven't done that since I came back from Mysore, and also it would be an amazing experience for my students to get this Mysore energy that she's bringing straight from India, although she's living in Barcelona right now, but it's in her. And we had the leg class this morning, and I'm hyped. I'm so excited. It was such a great feeling. I was flowing with her voice, and it was just amazing. And my students also really excited and really good feedback. Like, it was really emotional, and it was nice to see how the community gets together when there is something happening. And I think it was really special gift that you came not only to visit me but also like to be at the Shala practicing and teaching the lead class.
Yeah, I got to teach, and it really felt like home.
Yes.
The first Om that we did together in the class was so powerful.
Yeah.
And it felt like home. Yeah. And I've been missing that. I'm not working in Barcelona as of now. Hopefully, I'm going to start soon. So, teaching over here was so special.
Yes.
Thank you.
So it won't be the last time. Spoiler alert, 2024, hopefully, we can bring her back to Tenerife and this time teach a proper workshop for a couple of days. So it will be like this multiplied by...
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and of course, we had to take the chance to interview you because it's a very special occasion, and to have someone with this experience and coming straight from the source, from India, here. So we had to take the chance. So thank you for being open to share your experience and your knowledge about this practice and about your life with all the Spanish-speaking community, and whoever wants to listen to it, it will be in English too. We will translate it, but it will be in English too. So take the chance to listen to what Chandana has to tell us.
Thank you for having me here. It's an amazing thing that I get to experience. I get to share my Ashtanga, my life experience. It's special. And it is, I think that is how you were talking about the community. It's nice to hear a piece of community from everybody.
Yes.
So it's nice.
Yes. I totally think that everyone in this community has something special to tell. So
correct.
We want to listen to everyone, right?
Absolutely. Like everybody has something special or a lot special, and we should know about those things, because that is what makes this community so vibrant, so strong, so together.
Yeah.
It's because we are special people out here. So yes, we need to hear everybody over here.
Yeah. So Chandana is an authorized level 2 teacher, and she's been practicing with Sharath since her beginning in Ashtanga Yoga.
Yes.
And right now she's working on 4th series, which is amazing to see. 3rd series and 4th series is something that I obviously never had in my Shala. And it's amazing to see how somebody is working on very advanced asanas and other are working on asanas that are still very advanced for them, right? No matter the series we are in, but of course, the more advanced you are in the asanas, it's taken a longer period of probably of working on that things that you need to get out of you, right? Like might be strength in your case. It's not flexibility, but strength.
So my whole journey has been about being stronger. And also, like, as and when I started getting stronger and stronger, actually my flexibility improved because I could hold my muscles, I could elongate my muscles, I could hold myself with my strength, and I could go deeper. So all these advanced postures are like, it's an eye-opener because it also makes you meet your fear, your limitation, your mental and emotional limitation. And as and when you practice, you learn how to overcome that, how to work on it. So it's been a journey with all these things. And I am at a phase where I'm literally enjoying to grasp or to learn as much as I can. Because I'm like, I want more. I'm hungry for more. I'm hungry to experience more of this entire sea of knowledge that we call Ashtanga. So hopefully, let's see how far I go. As far as I can, maybe.
So let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
You started practicing Ashtanga Yoga. You were practicing yoga before?
Yes. So I started with yoga in 2000. That was when I left my hometown, Jamshedpur, and I came to Pune for my grads and then my postgrads. So the first year of my college, I put on a lot of weight because I got introduced to junk food. Then I got introduced to eating at like 2:30 in the night because of my, everybody was doing that. And of course, unhealthy habits, the body reacted. So when I went back home, my football coach was from Bihar School of Yoga, Munger. So he introduced me to yoga. I was practicing Hatha Yoga with him, like holding the postures as long as I could. And I started seeing changes in me. So I continued. Like while I was studying, of course, I would go to these classes, carry my yoga mat to a class and go. And then I started working. I still kept on with my practice. I kept on taking classes here and there, going to studios and taking classes here and there. Then in 2009 is when I had like this day wherein I got to know that I'm not meant for the corporate sector. because I was working in banking and finance. I worked in banking and finance for 5 years.
Wow.
So I thought, no, this is not the place for me. And I quit my job. Then I was practicing, and I was also teaching Hatha Yoga, or what was introduced to me as Hatha Yoga by these number of studios that I've been going for the past 10 years. So as and when I'm going from studio to studio, I got to know about this festival in Rishikesh, the yoga festival. That's where I met Deepika. Deepika was giving Ashtanga classes there, and that one class is what it took for me to get hooked onto Ashtanga. So March is when I did this first class with Deepika, and the same year, October, that time we did not have a waiting list or anything. Everybody could get through Mysore.
And you didn't have to go, have had studied like 3 months or 2 months with an authorized teacher.
Yes. And also like we could go, like I think we could go from the 1st to the 5th of the month. There were like a lot of changes. So
it was easier.
It was easier. Like now certainly you see the website is up, and then you apply and you get through, and you just go to Mysore. And I was in Mysore in October. That's how I started Ashtanga with Guruji, with Sharath Guruji, and here I am today.
And since then you've been going every year.
Every year. It's like whenever the Shalas open, every season I'm there. I'm there to learn more. Like,
And when you practiced that one class with Deepika, was it a lead class?
It was kind of a lead class. So it was she was teaching at the festival in Rishikesh, and it was a kind of a lead class where I think we did up to Navasana, I think so. That was like, it was it. Because, I know I was flexible. All these studios were like, oh, do a split, do this. And I was doing it. And that one class with Deepika, I was like, there's something called strength. I got introduced to that. Like, yoga is not just about flexibility. It's a strength. And I didn't have that. But that flow and that strength and that method there was something attracting me towards it, and I was there. I was there in Mysore in October.
And then when you started in Mysore with Sharaji, did he like guide you through, or was some assistant guiding you through at the beginning, because you didn't know the sequence by memory?
I was guided through by assistants. I was guided through, but it was primary because of my body type. I did finish the primary in 1 month. But did I do the jump through jump back properly? No, it took me 4 years to get my jump through jump back.
Which is strength, right?
Which is strength, and I'm still working on it. Like now I'm kind of really challenging myself by making it more and more difficult, or more and more like polished. I'm still doing that. But in the beginning it was like what he calls the flat chapati. I was always a chapati jump through jump back, like the flattest of the flat chapati. So that was fun.
I've never heard that, the flat chapati. I like it. Oh, that's so fun. And so this was in 2010.
End of 2010, 11.
Yes, so
so that's
and so since then you've been coming every year, and you see how much it has changed. Like it has changed so much, so often, right? The process to get there, and how many people are going there, and
correct.
So from when you started till now, big changes, like new Shala, but also the way that Sharath is teaching.
Yeah, it has. The major change is like earlier we could go up to 3 months. Now it's maximum 2 months. Ouchie.
For now.
We'll see. Hopefully, we'll see. And also the way the entire process of teaching in the Shala, I've seen him really teaching in a very individual manner. Like, he's not the same with every student. He's different. Like, it's only when you go to the Shala for a very long period of time, you'll see there's no dogmatic sequence. Like, this is it. No, there's no square. It's a pretty much of a round where everybody is included and adjusted and, taken care of. So, and I don't think so that's a change. That's like what I have seen going there for such a long period of time. Like being with my guru, I've seen that, I've learned that, I've studied that. And that has also helped me to become a better teacher. Because not every student is the same. We get different bodies every day. Like we ourselves are different every day. So imagine our students.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's the way he has been teaching and he is teaching. It's just that I've been able to observe it for the past 10 years. 10 years, 12 years now. Yeah. Oh my God, it's been
13 almost.
13, almost 13 years now. So I think that's how he was teaching and has been teaching. It's just that we have been going for a very long time. We see that and we observe that. And that's why going to Mysore every year is very important. Going to Mysore and assisting, being an authorized teacher is very important because you learn, you observe those things.
Yeah.
And then you become a better and a better teacher.
Yeah.
And also, like, over the years, I have changed. My body has changed. I have changed as a person. And I've seen his approach to teaching me has also changed. Mm-hmm. So that's why we have to go to Mysore for years and years to become more and more better and better and, as a student and better as a teacher too. So that's what I've seen.
And when you came back from your first trip to Mysore, you were living in
Pune.
Oh, you were living in Pune.
I was living in Pune.
And were you able to maintain the daily practice at the beginning?
Yes.
Straight.
Yeah. I'm a very committed person. When I commit to something, I'm in.
And so, because you didn't have a teacher, only Sharath, so you would just take the chance every time you could go, you go.
I go, I learn, I come back, and I keep practicing.
And when did you start teaching Ashtanga?
I taught Ashtanga, I think, after a year of doing the primary, because I think the first trip was all about primary and I completed it, but it was the second trip is when he started giving me the second series asanas. And I was teaching yoga, like I told you, as the Hatha Yoga, or what was introduced to me as Hatha Yoga. But I started teaching primary only after I completed like a year of primary. Yeah.
Because normally what happens is that your students, they also want to know what are you doing, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
It's kind of like happens organically, like,
yeah.
Hey, this is what I'm practicing. I actually want to teach this.
Yeah.
know?
So, but I took like at least 1 year to just kind of know myself because, as I told you, it was a challenge for me because of the strength.
Yeah.
So I really was working on myself. And once I was kind of little comfortable with who I was with my practice, I started teaching it to the students. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you started with second series, you had a major challenge there, right?
Yeah. The major challenge called the Great Himalayan Duck, Karanda. Yes. So if you see, Karanda is all about balance and strength.
Yeah, maybe can you explain how the asana is for those people that never seen a Karanda asana?
So Karanda, you first go into like a forearm balance. While you're in forearm balance, you make a Padmasana, lotus.
Yeah. And
you slowly get your Padmasana knees to your forearms. You balance there for 5 breaths and then you try. Keep trying to get your legs up. I'm still not there. But coming down took me 3 years.
Wow.
And I was stuck in that posture for 3 years. Guruji did not give me another posture for 3 years. And there was this one day where he kept on, like he asked me to keep on doing Karanda till the time the lead intermediate was over. So my arms were like all purple and bruised. And I kept on doing it, and I wasn't getting it. And of course I was tired. So that day did not happen. But the next day, Karanda happened.
Wow.
And then Guruji comes and I was like, it happened. And I remember Arne, Clayton Hart and everybody was practicing and Danny was assisting and they have seen my struggle in Karanda. This was the old Shala. And when I came down and I could hold myself over there, I heard like everybody going, yes. Danny was happy. Arne was saying yes. But Guruji had gone for his coffee break. And I was like, oh no, he didn't see. It's okay, but I did it. But I think he saw it. I think he either saw it on the CCTV because I think the old Shala had a CCTV. Or he saw on his way in. And then he came to give me the back bend. And he was like, whatever is left in the second series. So that's how I completed my second series.
You got down Karandavasana by yourself, and that day you got the rest of second series in one go.
One go. So.
Wow, but you never had done that before. So you had seen it.
I had seen it because 3 years I was watching the lead intermediate as I was sitting for the closing posture. So if you do till pincha, you're supposed to sit and wait for others, and then you join in the closing. So I 3 years I've been observing, noticing, counting, also memorizing.
So you had it very internalized, even though your body hadn't done it.
So it was nice. So I was doing my homework for 3 years as I was practicing Karanda.
So I think it's really important that that we all hear those stories about somebody who's very advanced in their asana practice. That you also had your struggle, right? Because it seems like, oh, now she's very flexible. That's why she's doing 4th series. But you were 3 years working on one asana. Maybe some others are easier, but I think it's actually more difficult if you only have one challenge. Because your mind doesn't know how to cope with it. Like if you have a couple of challenges on the way, it's like, okay, another one. But 3 years in one asana, not having been stopped in anyone before because you weren't able to complete it, this might have been a big struggle for your mind.
Sometimes it was, I did feel demotivated, Imagine like doing this one asana, coming to the shala and, not able to do it. And you know how Guruji is like, he's like, and his is so like, oh my God, he did that. No. But there were days when I was demotivated, but then I was like, you know what, I'm going to try again.
Did you ever think like you were never able to do it?
Yeah. I thought that this is it. Like there was this one day when it was not happening. I was like, okay, maybe this is it. This is where I'll stop. This is my Ashtanga journey. But I guess this practice, which is the method is so strong, even if you get demotivated, which is quite normal for a human being, we go through ups and downs of life. But the method of this practice keeps on works in a very subtle way to keep on, keeps on making you stronger and stronger, not only physically, but mentally too. And the motivation or not being able to be say that I can't do it when the word no comes in, mental strength is what matters. So I think the practice was playing its part as I was getting demotivated. So it kind of never stopped me. So I kept on going, and then it worked. It worked. So now also it's not that I don't have my challenges. I do. Strength. It's always I'm still, as I told you, I'm still working on my jump through jump backs to be more and more polished. So I do face my, roadblocks and my big stones or big boulders. But then I know I'll do it. I'll keep on doing it. I'll keep on working. It will happen. So that's where I am.
Yeah, that's really interesting, right? Because that big challenge for 3 years, now the other challenges, you just...
I just trust. Just trust. I was like, okay, fine. I'll do it. Don't worry. It'll happen. When it's time, it happens. And honestly, it does. Even some of the flexibility postures, which, other people think that, oh, she can do it. It involves a lot of strength. You just take Gandha Berunda. It's not flexibility. It's all about your core, your quads, your back strength, and your mental strength. So every day you can do Gandha Berunda, but I couldn't do Gandha Berunda. It took me a couple of months. I know people take years, but then I have a different body. So it took me a couple of months. It did not happen on the first day itself. I was like, oh, Gandha Berunda, and I got Gandha Berunda. No, it took me at least 6 months to get the Gandha Berunda. So even be it strength or flexibility, every asana, there is a point wherein you have to work on it again and again. Everyone. Not only me, everybody has to do that.
And when you started practicing second series, because many of our listeners, they asked about this, they seem to have big changes in their nervous system. Obviously, it's for working nervous system the second series, but they tell us that, well, also Merce said she had this experience. I haven't had it, that they cannot sleep and they have nightmares.
Okay. I never had like, touch wood. I never have or never have had like a sleep problem. Like you ask me to sleep, I can sleep. I love sleeping. I mean, who doesn't? But no nightmares or sleep. But I don't know whether it was the second series or maybe because of the intense practice, I developed a big sweet tooth. Like I was more about, like I'm salivating as I'm talking about sweet tooth. Like that's how much I love sweets. So I was more about eating spicy, salty, sour food. But yeah, second series, I don't know. Like the sweets, I started craving, and sweets as in not the sugar, like sweet as in like the fresh food, natural sweets, mangoes or jaggery or dates, the natural sweetness which has a depth. Sugar, you just taste sweet, like it's just sugar. But others, it's like you taste the depth of the sweetness. So I have that, like I want to taste the depth of the sweetness. So yeah, that's it.
And so we know that primary series is the cleansing of the body. And the mind, and then the second series is for the nervous system. So what are third and fourth and all this?
So fourth, I'm still a newbie. So I'll talk about the third. Third, it's called Sthirabhaga A. So strength and grace, So these are these really intense postures where you're taking your one leg behind the head and you're standing straight, or you're doing like a side plank, or then there's a posture wherein you're balancing with your knees on your one arm and the other leg floating in the air. So I think, or say Kandapirunda, which is like, hello, that's like
your feet in front of your shoulders.
In front of your shoulder, and then you're supposed to hold it for 5 breaths. So it's all about how it challenges you mentally, and how with grace and with that like stillness, that poise, that you can do the asanas. So the more you control your mental stimulation at the time of doing asanas, and how calm you can be. So I think Sthirabhaga is all about that. Maintaining a calm, composed while you're doing all these crazy stuff. So strength and grace.
Being calm in the middle of the storm.
Like understanding your strength to just say, I'm going to be in this posture where both my feet is in front of my chin and I'm holding it down in the most intense back bend ever. But I'm going to breathe and stay calm. So I think the Sthirabhaga is all about that.
Wow. So. And even though you're a newbie to 4 series, what do you feel when you're doing this fourth?
So for me, it's the intensity that comes, like there's a forward bend and then there's a back bend. There's a forward bend and then there's a back bend. So it really plays on your head. Like that I need to do all my back bends to do my forward bends. But fourth is all about, you do the intense forward and then wait, you have a back bend. And you're like, what is this happening? So overcoming the limitations of my mind, like, thinking in one way, I'll finish all my back bends and then I'll do my forward bend. No, sorry. You do 2 forward bends and then you do back bend. And wait, you have 2 more forward bends and then you do your back bend. So I think in my, this little thing that I'm doing as a homework, I think this is what I think about the 4th series.
Yeah. Wow. What do you think are all the benefits of, like, outside of the practice? Like, we know all the physical benefits and mental benefits, but how do we take the practice to our daily life?
The biggest benefit we have is the commitment. Because we are so committed and dedicated with working on ourselves, that easily flows into our day-to-day life. We are very disciplined and committed to our life in general, like well-being and taking care of ourselves. Knowing, also this practice, constantly we are looking at our own body and we are listening to our own breath. So the self-knowledge, the knowledge of knowing yourself is so much that when you go in the outside world of when you know who you are, and that's so important because that's when you know when to stand up for yourself, when to apologize, because we are human. We will be wrong many times. So you should know that, oh, you're wrong, apologize if something bad if that hurts somebody or something like that. Also, learning to say no, learning to say yes, when to say yes, learning how to take risk. Like here I am, taking the biggest risk of my life.
Yes.
Just shaking my life.
We'll talk about this.
Yeah. So all these things, and I think it makes us so stable and so dedicated and so disciplined that life, when it goes through the yo-yo phase of going up and down, we are very calm and composed. Like, it's not that we don't get an anxiety attack. Like, I do get anxiety attack, but it won't affect me to the point of breaking me down. Even if I get a little stressed, depressed, or I have an anxiety, I will acknowledge that and I'll be like, hey, calm down, work on yourself. So I think that is who we are.
Yeah. So, and it at least if everything is shaking you down, you'd still know that if you choose it, you have the practice to be stable. To be
like I remember
to be your stability at the moment.
Yeah, like I remember I did this post wherein I said that, you know, no matter whatever happens in life, if you have this one constant thing in your life, nothing can shake you. And for us, this one constant thing is practice.
Yeah, but we have to choose it. No one's going to put it in front of us.
No one is. So we choose it. We wake up in the morning, and no matter whether we practice before we teach or after we teach, or whether we practice in the afternoon or evening, we practice.
Yeah.
And that's like one constant thing.
Yeah.
And this practice itself is so constant with the method, like the 6 levels which is defined. I think that's very strong. It's a very strong presence that we have in our life.
Yeah, it's a blessing to be able to choose it.
Yes.
And for those who can choose it without being at the Shala, which takes a couple of years to be able to have it for yourself, Surya. Like during COVID, right? So many people stopped practicing.
Yeah.
But then there were all these other people that we grasped onto the practice because it was the only thing that we knew that we could have next morning on the mat. Because the rest of the world was getting crazy, right?
Yes.
And this is just one example. But for instance, you moved to Barcelona from India. It was a big jump of faith, right?
Yes,
because you didn't know what was expecting you and if things are working out or not, but still your practice is there for you to choose it.
Yeah,
and grateful that you choose it every day, and it makes life more stable and calm, right?
Exactly. Like COVID, I grasped onto my practice. I was like, this is something. It's not going to go anywhere, no matter whatever is happening around me. I grasped onto it, and I think that is what, like those 2 years, being so disciplined and dedicated, even when I had nobody to answer to. I live alone, so, I was doing it. So I think that was very important. And moving to Barcelona, I literally jumped into the fire.
But you didn't get burned.
I didn't get burned because, again, that's what I said, that the stability that we have in our life, no matter how high the ups are, how low the lows are in life, we kind of stay very balanced. We do get drowned, but then we come up. You know? We have that strength to come up. We just don't get drowned forever.
Yeah.
We do manage to come up and be strong. So
one thing that I always tell my students or friends is that for me, since I choose the practice every day, and so I'm choosing challenging myself, which sometimes might be just getting up and sitting on the mat or doing the whole practice. It's a challenge. When I get out of the shala or of the mat, there is no challenge bigger than the one I already done.
Correct.
So I just flow with it, right?
That's so beautiful. Like, the biggest challenge you did was, like, no matter whether it's the first level or the second or the third, it's not easy. And we still choose to do a practice no matter what. So a very big challenge is, like, the first thing we do is we overcome that. So yeah. And we are like, okay, world, meet me now. What do you have next?
Yeah, what
for
do
me?
you have?
Yeah.
Can you give me something stronger than what I just did?
Probably
not.
Exactly. I was like, I'm here. Tell me what.
Yeah. So going back to Mysore one more time.
Yeah.
There are many more Western students than Indian students, right?
Yes.
Why do you think that is? And what is what difference do you see between us coming and Indians practicing? Like, of course, there are physical difference, but the physicality is not that important as what difference is there in the practice
And how they approach the practice.
Yes.
Yeah, so, when I started Ashtanga and Guruji was like, all my Indian students raised their hands, and it was like 2 or 3 of us raising the hands in the old Shala to the number that is now in the new Shala. Sometimes, like, I know 2 seasons, I think we touched 50 Indian students.
Yeah, after COVID, there were more Indian students.
It was more Indian, so it was nice. Why it's more Western practitioners than Indian practitioners? Okay, in my opinion, I think it's to do with the finances and also the investment in terms of time.
Yeah.
So normally, if you see, if you have to, you do get your holidays from your workplaces, which is 1 or 2 months. Or as of now, when you can take your work remotely, which even Indians can do now. But I'm talking about what was before, when this remote working was not there.
Yes.
You could take holidays for 1 or 2 months, which doesn't happen in the corporate sector in India.
Yeah.
So that is one thing. And the second is, it's expensive. It's a big financial commitment you have to make. And when you come to Mysore, specifically for a yoga teacher, you don't get to work.
Yeah.
So how do you take care of yourself? So,
yeah,
those things, I think so. Those things are what matters. But things are changing with this entire, remote working.
Yeah.
If you see more and more Indian students are coming now. So I think that was the reason why the number difference is there.
Yeah.
And also, like, if you see, Ashtanga got popularized in the West first. Now it is popular in India. People are getting introduced to Ashtanga. They want to do Ashtanga. So in time, probably it will happen.
Yeah.
But it takes time. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
And the difference between the Indian practitioners and the Western practitioners in terms of, I think, all these years that I've been going, the number of people consistently coming to Mysore is kind of little, it's thinning out, it's scared. It's not the same, the way I have seen from the Western numbers. That is one major difference I've seen,
So might be that they can't come, or might be that they stop practicing, or that the commitment just is not the same.
It's not the same.
But it also happened here. It happens here. Like, there are many people that maybe go for 1 month, and that's not for me.
But then your number, if you see, is so huge. To see that difference, or to see that numbers going down, it's not that visible vis-a-vis the number that you can see in the Indian community.
Yeah.
So probably that's what we see.
It might be the same percentage, maybe,
probably.
But it's just because there are
less number of Indian students. So it appears to be more.
Yeah. So this is a question that I find really interesting, because you, as an Indian woman, right? In India, the woman has to get married and have kids, and you are here now in Spain living. by yourself, like a really I think it's a really powerful movement you're doing, living a totally contrary life to what was expected from you, right?
Yeah.
You must feel like a bit scared, but also free, right?
Oh yes, I do.
I mean, scared because you're
I'm doing
away
different.
from your...
Yeah, I'm doing different. I'm jumping out of my comfort zone. Like
Yeah.
things in Pune were very comfortable. I have my own house, I have my own shala. I was teaching in the morning, then I was practicing, then I was doing another class and then private.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then I had my Shri Didi to cook food for me. But here in Barcelona, I have to do everything on my own. Yeah. It's not that I did not do what is generally expected and seen from both genders in India, be it a man or a woman. I did get married. I got married under pressure. I got married for my parents, not for myself. And that was a disaster. The man was not good. So I wiped him off from my story. And once I did that, actually, I kind of started with my divorce procedure in 2013 and 2015, March is when things got finalized. I kind of entered a phase wherein I was like, you know what? 30 years I've been living what was expected out of me. Now I'll do what I want to do. And thanks to the universe that gave me a wonderful and a sweetheart in a form of a brother. Thanks to him, he's my rock. So the support that I get from him, I have the strength to just jump and leap.
Yeah.
Or else it's difficult. It's not easy to do that because we have commitments and we have responsibilities. But thanks to my brother, I could I'm like, hey, I'm leaping, okay? It's like, it's okay, leap. If you need a net, I'll provide it.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm like, thanks to him.
Yeah.
I can do all these things. And I do get the support and the strength and the power to say that, you know what, I'm going to try something new. What's the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the worst. I accept it, but let me try.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what.
Yeah, and it gives you so much freedom when you move somewhere else
It does. Absolutely. Like I always, like after, literally getting married because my parents, I was 29 and not married, and I was like, oh my God, she's 29 and my father's a well-known businessman, and oh my God, your daughter's not married, and I finally get married, and I was like, for what joy did I do this? Because it was a rushed thing and it didn't turn out well. So after that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to live the way I want to.
Yeah.
So my parents did have a problem, but now they're like, let's forget it. She'll do whatever she wants to. We have to accept it.
Yeah.
So yeah. But that also changed their perspective, the way they look at life now, the way they look my nephew's life now. So I'm happy to have changed the story a bit of my family.
Oh, quite a lot.
Yeah, quite a lot. So now it's nice. It's more freedom for my nephews.
Yes.
So it's nice.
Yes.
I like it.
More freedom for you, more freedom for your nephews, and whoever you might inspire.
Exactly.
Yeah. So. That's amazing. And then there is this beauty, no? We were talking about the Ashtanga family, the Ashtanga community, how you arrived in Barcelona and you had Tabata and Ramiro. There is this big, in Barcelona there's a big Ashtanga community. And so you get somewhere and you're not alone, right?
Yes.
Even though often we want to do everything by ourselves, right? But if it's the case, you have this big support of the community, right?
Yes. Like no matter where we go, we always have someone.
Yes.
And we are very strong individuals. Our personality is very strong.
Yeah.
Right? But then there's this one part of us which is always about, that's family.
Yes.
That's our community. That's our sangha. How we are in Mysore. It's like, we are like long lost friends. We can talk for hours. All we do after practice is eat and talk, right? And we're still not done with it.
Yeah.
It's because, we like to be together, and we are social animals.
Why do you think that there is this huge connection between practitioners that go to Mysore?
It's because the effort that we make in that common space, that effort, no matter, it's different because we are different individuals, but the effort in totality is towards one goal, is to be a better student, is to learn as much as we can from our Guru. I think that is what connects us.
Yes.
That is what brings us together.
And we cannot talk about this with anyone who does not practice.
No, we cannot.
Yeah.
Why Mysore? No matter how many, like, I just spoke about my brother. It was very difficult for him to understand why Mysore every year. Now he has understood because, he's seen me grow. He's seen me change. He's seen me change as a person, and not physically, but also as a person. So now he knows. But trust me, my dad still doesn't know. He's like, why again? How much do you want to learn? Isn't it enough? So, yeah. Because my brother's invested in, like how, he's my rock, and I'm more close to him than my parents. So he's more invested in me than my father or my mother. So they don't understand that, but my brother does. So yeah, it's very difficult for somebody else to understand if they don't be a part of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you assist Sharath almost every time you can, right?
Yeah.
So you assist so many different bodies.
Yeah.
Is it still, you still after so many years keep learning about different bodies and different adjustments?
Yes. Like even different bodies, when they come every year, they're different.
Yeah.
They grow, they grow, they become who they are or what they have to become. It's a constant learning. And not only them, even I change in terms of my body, my perception, my thought process. I change.
Yeah.
So I change as a teacher, I change as an assistant, I change as a student. So does everybody. So it's a constant learning. And I think that's what I said. Like only when you go to Mysore over the years, you see him teaching every individual in a different way every year. The body is the body is kind of evolving. He's evolving. We are evolving. So I think that's what change is. The constant thing is change. It will keep on happening. So as and when the change happens, there's a new learning. I think every day there's a new learning in Mysore.
And do you take this is because I'm just remembering how when I met you, this was in 2000 and just after pandemic, 2022, January and February, you were assisting Sharath, and I was just recovering from a back injury, and so I wasn't getting up from drop backs again. Well, never did in Mysore anyway, but until last season. And do you take you like to go to the same student and work with them? Because I remember you were coming quite a lot to me and we worked a lot together.
Yeah. I do like that because, you're a part of, like, you see the progress and you're like, I think I can push a little more.
Yeah.
I can push him a little more. And I think he's there. Like, oh my God, you're just this much away from your feet.
Like, next time
we'll do more,
Tomorrow.
It feels good. But then, to be honest, he doesn't allow you that. When he sees you're getting comfortable and all, he's like, good, adjust him.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, he keeps me pushing towards the towards the back row. Chandana, assist that. Assist him. Assist that. So I was like, okay, you're pushing me towards my that's mine, out of my comfort zone. I'm 5'1", and you're the row behind is definitely 5'10" plus.
Yeah.
So he keeps me pushing towards that. But then he sees, when you're working with someone, he also allows you to do that. So it depends upon his or what he wants to teach you on that season. So it depends on that.
Yeah, because you were working with me a lot.
Yeah.
Getting closer to the feet.
Yeah.
And then the season after, you came and assisted me the first day, and you made me touch my feet and catch. So this was, for me, it was always difficult to trust somebody that's smaller than me, right? Because I'm heavy. I mean, I think I'm heavy, and that the back bends, that the person won't have the strength to support me, so then I'm nervous.
Yeah.
but because we worked so much the season before, I remember I was like, wow, she's so strong. She's so strong, right? So it gave me like this punch in my face, like, hey, we have to stop judging people because of her appearance, which is what I always hate, that people would judge me because of my appearance, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm doing the same. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think more than the appearance, we need to grasp on the energy of the person.
Yes.
That is more important.
Yeah.
Like, there has been times wherein somebody who has just started assisting for the first time came to assist me and was nervous. So I kind of like joke with them a little bit, give them a little smile. I was like, just try. What's the worst that's going to happen? Just try.
That they break you back. It's very hard to break.
It's very hard to break. So when I sense that, I'm like, come try. It's okay. I'll help you. Fine. It's nice, because I was also in that position.
Yeah.
I remember that, so I kind of, that's where I told you, we were talking about David Robson and how humble he was when I went to assist him. And I took that humility, that was like that was a lesson for me. His humility was the lesson for me. So I was like, so it's always there in my mind. I have to be humble because I also started like that.
And there is so much pressure on the assistants.
It's exactly like, it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not only Guruji's presence.
It's everybody. Everybody's.
It's the students even more like, oh, my shoulder's hurting because she told, and it's like, this. I don't want her to assist me anymore.
I know.
And this is. We forget that they are also just learning, right?
They're also learning and they're also practicing, and it's intense. Sometimes, they also get tired, and sometimes, like when you see the backbend, sometimes people just like let go and go into backbends. Like we have to support them completely, and we understand because they are tired and so they don't use their strength. So it depends. So, we have to clap with both hands.
Yeah.
So we have to trust each other and just give each other a chance. Not just say that, no.
Don't forget the yoga when someone's assisting you in drop box.
Exactly.
So apart from the biggest challenge that you had, which was physically Karandavasana, or until that point, right?
Yeah.
Which has been the biggest learning and blessing from this practice?
I got to know myself. Or let's rephrase it. I kind of know myself better, and I'm still working on it. That has been the biggest lesson and a blessing. That is what made me, honestly, I'm here talking to you alive. It's because of this. There was a point in time where I was literally down, I was about to dash my car behind a truck.
Wow.
So that strength of self-knowledge, or that hunger to know yourself better and better and better every day, I think that's a strength and a blessing. So that is what I've got from the practice.
Yeah, that's going to hold you onto it forever.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's this famous phrase from Patabi Jois, no? Practice, and all is coming.
All is coming,
It's not only the things that we want to come, but also the dark sides of ourselves and the pains and the injuries. Everything is coming.
Everything is coming.
To be able to see
how
we react in which situation, how we are, who we are, right? So we keep learning and learning about who we are, which is what you just said, and how to live life better with being who we are honestly, right?
Yeah, that's more important. Being honest to yourself.
Yeah.
This is who I am. And it was that honesty of that, okay, fine. I know I'm wrong at these things, and I know I'm right at these things. I was very honest. If and I'm a kind of a person, if I make a mistake, I'll be the first one to apologize. Sorry, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
So that honesty of accepting who I am, actually what helped me when life was really in a very dark phase for me. Imagine the worst that can happen. It has happened with me, but I never let that break me. I never cried. because or whatever happened, and I was like, I'm going to think about my future and I'm going to work on my future. And that strength, when I said that to myself, when things were happening to me, and I was like, oh, I'm strong. You know what? It's going to be better tomorrow.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where that was the biggest learning and the biggest blessing from this practice.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt really grateful when I was practicing today, because I could feel this presence that you brought with you when you teach. You are a very shiny person, like happy and smiling, but when you're teaching, it's the first time that I've studied. Took a class with you, right? We were teaching, and I felt this presence, like as if you were connected to something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Naturally, like when you do what you light up even more.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
And you could feel the vibration in the chant and in the way we were teaching, and it was fun. So you are now studying your Spanish in Barcelona.
Sí.
And you're working on all your paperwork to be able to teach
Yes.
In Barcelona, because you will be teaching this soon.
I will be teaching soon. So it's halfway through. Hopefully the government expedites the process and gets the other half done. And I hope I can start teaching us, because I miss it. I really love it. And as you said, teaching yoga is not a job. It is what you want to do. We were just talking on our way back home. You're like, I want to do this. It's not a job. I like it.
I enjoy doing it. Yeah.
I enjoy doing it. So same here. I really enjoy teaching. And the best joy comes is when you observe a student over a period of time, and then they get this one little millimeter of progress, and their eyes light up, or their face lights up, and you're like, I saw that too.
Yeah.
That's the biggest joy I have. So I really want to do that more and more.
Yeah. So it's happening soon.
Touch wood. Yes.
So be aware about Chandana's schedule as soon as she starts teaching in Barcelona, because it's a really good chance to study with somebody so committed and involved in the process of sharing this practice to the world. from the tradition she started practicing with Sharath. So it's like from the beginning she's only drinking from the source. So it's really pure. So what is, if you had to choose an asana to represent you, that you connect to it, which asana from one of the 6 series would you be, and why?
Okay. I would say Kapotasana. Because
my favorite asana.
A lot of people's favorite asana. Because the change, as in when I've changed as a person, I've changed in life, I've changed physically, my kapo has changed. My kapo has evolved as I have evolved, and it's still evolving. So I don't know if you've seen my kapo in 2014 and then my kapo now, it has evolved. You can see the strength that this practice has given me, the stability that this practice has given me. And, you can, and to be very honest, I see how I act and react to situations. So I see the stability that this practice has given to me in terms of emotional and mental. So that kapo is my journey.
Does it still trigger you before you start doing it? Before you go down, or have you find the calmness?
No, sometimes it depends, how you are. Because as I said, life is all about ups and downs. So I still get my flutters before the second lead intermediate. I'm like, oh my God, the war is going to start. The battle is going to start. But then once I'm going into kapo, I feel good. Because I kind of I went a little deeper. I held my quads really straight today, and I could feel the lift in my chest. So my kapo has evolved as I have evolved. So I think kapo is me. I am couple.
Yeah.
Asana, no, asana cannot be me. Asana is too intense and too big to be confided in the human form.
Yeah.
I am couple. Yeah.
Strength and flexibility.
Strength and flexibility. Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for your time, for your knowledge.
Yeah.
And tell our listeners where they can find you. Not teaching yet, but on Instagram, how can they contact you?
So
website?
My Instagram handle is Chandana Bhowmick Yoga.
We'll put it on the notes.
Yeah, my website is chandanabhowmick.com. And I will always be a student, and I'll be listed in my Guruji's website, where you can find all the teachers around the world. So I think you and me, will always be a part of that website. So all my details are there.
Yes.
So that's where you find me. And hopefully soon, once I start teaching in Barcelona, of course, that is going to be put up on my website, my Instagram, as well as Guruji's website.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, so do follow her on Instagram and see her beautiful, not only physical practice, but she's a really beautiful being and woman. So we are really grateful that you came here with us. I'm really grateful that you came to my house and shared your time with me and at the Shala. So we will see each other in Madrid. I don't know if we get this out before Guruji's workshop, but maybe we do. And you can find her in Barcelona.
Yeah.
And maybe next year in Tenerife again.
Perfect. Yes. I like that.
Yes.
And Vivian, thank you so much, for opening your heart and opening your home for me.
Pleasure.
Yeah, and teaching in your Shala today was like connecting with home. So thank you
So
for that.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Muchas gracias por escucharnos.
Este es tu podcast semanal de Ashtanga Yoga.
La próxima semana seguimos
Mysoreando.
Mysoreando.
Yoga, Chitta, Vritti, Nirodha.
Honestidad, devoción, no violencia, desapego.
Yoga es 24 horas.
India, Mysore, Gokulam.
Inhala, exhala.
Respira.
Krishnamacharya, Patavi Jois, Sharath.
Parampara.
Respiración, Drishti, Bandhas.
Practica y todo llegará.
Ashtanga Yoga.
Sapta jump in the hand.